Hey guys, Evan Chino back with another video. Today I wanted to kind of talk about Michigan football. I haven't really made a lot of videos about them this year. I think I did ones about the Fresno State, Texas, and Minnesota game, but I just it's gotten to the point where I don't really see a point to make a video about Michigan week after week because it's the same problems over and over again. Michigan sucks. Like Michigan is really bad this year. And how did this happen? Because how is it that you go from winning a national championship one year and then the next year you're just terrible? And then a lot of people will say, "Well, we lost a lot of players." It's like losing a lot of players, it doesn't suck. Yes, but that's why you recruit new players. Georgia lost 15 players from their 2021 team, and they won the national championship again a year later. So saying that, these players are gone, that's why we're bad, is not really an excuse. Our quarterback room is absolutely a mess, and I think that's got to be on Sherrone Moore. We knew this entire offseason that our quarterback room was going to be mainly Tuttle, Orji, and Warren. And it's this bad. He knew it was this bad. So why did he make no effort to try to get somebody like out of the portal or something else? I don't really think we're going to see the freshman Jaden Davis that much this year because he did redshirt. He wanted a red shirt, and you can only play 4 games and to be able to keep your red shirt. So if he were to be our starter for every game, he couldn't start till toward the end. I don't really think it's a good idea to throw in a true freshman at quarterback. I mean, that would just kind of be like a desperation attempt. But Jack Tuttle, terrible. Alex Orji, terrible. Davis Warren, terrible. Every single quarterback that has played on our team so far is terrible. And we're also not really giving them a chance to get into a rhythm because we keep changing quarterbacks. And that is a thing that kills teams when you have a different quarterback under center because it just screws your rhythm with your receivers and everything. Not that wide receivers exist on this team anyway because we don't throw it to them. The only time we do throw the ball, it's either to the ground, to the defense, or to Colston Loveland. I've only seen Samaj Morgan a handful of times. Does Tyler Morris even exist? And we've had the new rookies. We got Frederick Moore. He actually played a bit, like in the first 3 games. Haven't seen him at all. If he's gotten hurt, I have no idea. Which is weird because I've watched every single game. And then we have that new receiver, Bell. Can't remember his name. It's Ronnie Bell's younger brother. Haven't really seen him much at all. Haven't really seen any receiver. It's like they don't exist. We lost Cornelius Johnson and Roman Wilson from last year, and now it's like nobody. And it's not really their fault. I mean, did you see Jack Tuttle in the Illinois game? He sucks. He can't complete a simple drag route. Toward the end of the game, there was like a couple plays where we tried to run like a simple drag route, and he just underthrew the guy. Like, how are you that bad? You're a 5th or 6th year senior, and you don't know how to complete a drag route pass. And Tuttle just the same thing with Tuttle. He's either a 5th or 6th year senior, and he plays like he's a freshman. He had this absolutely terrible interception in the Illinois game, which he got bailed out because of an Illinois penalty on the other side of the field. And it's like he tried to throw it to the Illinois guy. Like that's who he was aiming for. Tuttle doesn't move around. He doesn't try to get rid of the ball. Try to like move around, like try to keep the play alive, or if nothing's open, just throw it away. He just takes sacks or fumbles. And there was one play where he just stood still, and people were coming right at him. He didn't move, and he just got sacked. It's like this guy has the awareness of a 2-year-old toddler. And then there's Alex, and then, okay, well, what about Alex Orji? If we have him in, we have like the most one-dimensional offense of all because he can't throw the ball. I'm honestly surprised because he only had 32 passing yards against USC, and we won that game. USC sucks now, so that win doesn't mean anything anymore, but... And then Davis Warren can actually throw the ball to our guys, but then he also throws like 3 interceptions a game. So you're basically picking between dumb, dumber, and dumbest at that point. Um, man, I miss JJ McCarthy so much, dude. You think Michigan fans kind of took him for granted after this? Like, you know what? Maybe JJ wasn't so bad after all. Because last year he had his moments. Like he was like, you know what? Hasn't really played great in some games. But man, we were still winning games. Our offense was able to do stuff. And now let's move on to the running game. Donovan Edwards. I am completely done with this guy. How many times is he going to be behind somebody's shadow? You know, the first few years, Blake Corum. Now what? He's behind Kalel Mullings' shadow? He has stupid fumbles. He can't hang on to the ball. He's lost 2 fumbles this year. And every single time he takes the ball, it's like we try to run up the middle with him. He just can't do that. Kalel Mullings is more of the run up the middle kind of guy, and Edwards more of the outside. Obviously, you can't do that every time because then the defense will know. But if Edwards runs up in the middle, he cannot break through. He just gets hit for like a 1-2 yard gain. But if it's Mullings and he breaks forward for like a 6, 7, or an 8 yard gain. And honestly, answer me this. Beside from the Ohio State game in 2022 and the national championship game last season, and I guess maybe you could throw in the 2022 Penn State game as well. Other than those 3 games, what else has he done? Oh, he had that touchdown pass in the 2021 Big Ten championship game. Whoop-de-doo, a position that he doesn't even do. He's not consistent enough to be a great running back. And like you see, how many times Blake Corum just absolutely blew everybody away from his playmaking abilities the past 3 seasons. He leaves. Donovan Edwards. How the hell did this guy earn a spot on the cover of College Football 25? Along with the likes of Quinn Ewers and Travis Hunter. This guy is getting outclassed by Kalel Mullings, who wasn't even a running back at the beginning of 2022. Hell, the Illinois game in 2022, Mullings wasn't even a running back. The Ohio State game in 2022 was his first game as a running back. And he's doing better than Donovan Edwards. It's like he has so much talent that he's just not using. Like he has like flashy plays from here to there, but he's not consistent. He has so many games where he has like 13 carries for 40 yards or something like that. And then Kalel Mullings, he's had a lot of 100-yard rush games this season. I don't think he did in the Illinois game, which we haven't lost a game where he's run for 100 yards, so I don't know why we're not trying to give Mullings the ball more often. Defense is all right. The cornerbacks, besides Will Johnson, are terrible. Will Johnson has been having injury issues this year, so he hasn't played that much. But when he's on the field, I mean, he has 2 pick sixes. He has one against Fresno State and one against USC. But the other guy, Jair Hill, is garbage. How many times are we going to have guys in the secondary commit pass interference, holding, or something, and then, like, I just can't stop just thinking about last year's team, like how disciplined this team was, and like how weren't we like last year we had the least penalties out of everybody, or maybe like Air Force had less penalties than us last year, and now this year that we like average like 5 or 6 a game. This defense, I mean, obviously, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant are still doing their thing. Will Johnson, if he's actually playing, he plays good. And then what about Josiah Stewart this year? He's actually been really good. But, I mean, who else? Ernest Hausman has been fine, but everybody else. Jair Hill, like, bro, he is terrible. He's probably the worst player in our defense. How many big plays are you going to allow, or how many pass interferences / holdings? I mean, it's like you get burnt every single time, so you have to resort to a pass interference to, like, prevent the play from happening. So it's like, oh, well, there, I'll do the pass interference so they won't score a touchdown because you keep getting burnt. Offensive line, man, we took a huge hit because last year we had, like, Ladarius Henderson, Zach Zinner, Trevor Keegan. There's some other guy I can't really think of right now, but like Barnhart, and another guy. But now this year, all of them are gone. We got Josh Preeb, who's a transfer from Northwestern. He's the best player on our who's the best offensive lineman on the team. There's a lot of like other guys, like Evan Link isn't doing great, and just a few other guys. Just besides Josh Preeb, like the offensive line isn't really that great. And they're not really giving our quarterback a lot of time to do something. And then when we do give him enough time to do something, he doesn't do anything with it. Or we're not really opening up holes for our running backs. And it's just, before the start of this season, I said, okay, you know what? We're going to go 9-3. Our losses will be Texas, Oregon, and Ohio State. We already have those 3 losses. We haven't even played Oregon yet. And we could have more. I mean, because think of it, we somehow beat USC, even though we had to go like 89 yards to score a touchdown to win the game, even though they knew we were only going to run the ball. And then we almost blew it against Minnesota. Lose the game to Washington, bye week, and then we lose the game to Illinois. And now we got to play Michigan State this week. And I went from, we're absolutely going to beat this team last year to this year where I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know if we're going to beat Michigan State on Saturday. Tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, I don't even know if we're going to beat Michigan State tomorrow. Last year, I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to beat Michigan State. Now I don't know. And we get them at home. It's just extremely frustrating. I went from having so much fun to watching this team last year to this year. It's just so aggravating and frustrating. And I'm not going to be the kind of guy that's calling for Sherrone Moore to lose his job, because there are some Michigan fans that want Sherrone Moore to get fired. I don't believe that a coach should be fired in his first season for a football-related reason. It's just, at that point, you're not giving enough time for the system to work. It's very rare that a coach is extremely successful in year one. I'm not comparing him to Nick Saban, but Nick Saban went 7-6 in his first year at Alabama and lost to Louisiana Monroe. Now, I'm not saying that Sherrone Moore is anywhere near the level of Nick Saban. I'm just giving an example. But I also believe that we have to put some responsibility on Sherrone Moore. The fact that you knew this quarterback group was complete garbage and did absolutely nothing to try to make it a little better, and the discipline issues. I mean, discipline was so good with Jim Harbaugh. Now it's like Sherrone Moore just doesn't really care about it, and we want to commit so many penalties and so many holding calls. And he was an offensive line coach. That's his specialty. Kirk Campbell, not really a fan of Kirk Campbell. Also not really a fan of Wink Martindale. I think that Jesse Minter was a way better defensive coordinator at Michigan. I'm not saying that Wink Martindale has always been bad. He's been around for a while and has been successful. I'm saying I don't really like Wink Martindale at Michigan. How about Wink Martin Blitz or something? Because that's all he likes to do. And then when you blitz, makes it more likely that, okay, either we're going to get a TFL or we're going to allow a big play. And that's what happens. Either we get a TFL or we allow a big play. It's so frustrating. Not very happy with Wink Martindale. Definitely not happy with Kirk Campbell. You know what? Not really happy with Sherrone Moore either. I'm not really happy with anybody. Strength and conditioning is terrible. Obviously, Ben Herbert, our previous strength and conditioning coach, leaving to join Jim Harbaugh at the Chargers really was a huge hit, because Ben Herbert, sensational strength and conditioning coach. And you can see how much of an impact that took this year. We've had a lot of guys go down with injuries, and the last couple of years, we hardly had anybody go down with injuries. The only thing I could think of was Blake Corum in 2022. Anyway, so how many games is this team going to lose? Do we make a bowl game? I don't even know anymore. We need to win 2 more games. We're currently 4-3. As a Power 4 team, if you win 6 games, then you make a bowl. Anything less, you're out. So we need to win 2 more games. We have Michigan State, Oregon, Indiana, Northwestern, and Ohio State. Our best options, I would say, are Michigan State and Northwestern. Are we going 6-6? 5-7. We're gonna lose to Indiana. I think we might lose to Indiana, even though Curtis Rourke is probably out for the season with a thumb surgery injury. Oh my gosh, and yeah, and Ohio State, don't even want to think about that. Oregon don't want to think about that either. But it'll happen at some point, man. Really enjoyed those 3 years. We'll repeat Ohio State all the time. This is looking like they're gonna kick our ass this year. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll probably make videos about Michigan. I might not. I'm not gonna make any promises. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.